Alright, I'm going to finish up this little pot here today. I wanted to mention that I usually poke a hole in these closed forms at night so the air can get out of them. Sometimes they'll pop up on the bat if you don't put a little spot for the, put a little hole for the air to escape. So I'll just plug that real quick. So I'm just going to cut this lid at the top here with my fettling knife, and you'll see that there's quite a bit of work to do to get these to fit. This doesn't just automatically drop down on there. I don't know how other people do these. I never had anybody show me this. I just sort of I knew the concept, but I didn't know the specifics. So if there's another way to do this, then y'all can let me know. So I'm just gonna get rid of some of this excess clay here, using the bottom of the pot as a chuck. So I do that. I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna do the same thing down here. I'm gonna trim away some of this excess clay on the flange. This seems like a fairly tall flange to me too, so I'm just going to take away just a tiny bit of that. I feel like that's a little excessive. Alright, let's see if those will sit down. Okay, almost. Almost. Another thing you can do if you sort of are running out of clay to trim there, you can just take your rib and gently push on that. Okay, that's just a tiny bit. That's a little tight. And take a little more off this lid. You know, there's no need. You could just throw these in two parts, which would be just fine. You know, it's not as impressive of a trick. But the reason that I've always made these in one piece is because I can really, sometimes I make these really peaky, and it would kind of be a challenge to throw this as an upside down lid and throw that up and have this wall and measure this and then come away and cut away whatever excess clay was underneath there. So doing it in one piece just seemed the way to go. Alright, so now that fits really nicely. The next thing I do to make this a little more to look a little better, I like to put a little bevel at the right here and a little bevel right here, so that there's a nice little like this part of your fingers here, this little V right here, just gives it a little nicer look. So I'm just going to cut a little bevel here and put this back on here, and cut a little bevel here, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, see, I mean, that just really sort of separates the two pieces. I'm not necessarily interested in this looking like it's one solid unit. So I put the bevel there to show that it's a top and a bottom. Right. So there are some little bits here that get cleaned up later, just these sort of rough edges. You can sponge that down or just hit it with a little something later. And of course we have this little problem here again, and so we have to put a little plug of clay in there, which I have handy because we don't want any, that's right, say it together, unsightly cracks. So I'm just going to put this little bit of clay in there. Nice, yeah, see, much better. And then these pots for me were always little jars that had animals on them. So I've made this little bird here, and often would put turtles or birds or some sort of animal on top of these. dogs, cats, chickens. So that would get kind of smoothed in and fixed up nice later. But that gives you that sort of general idea of what I did for these guys. So there you go. That's the finished product. I think these are fun pots. So give them a try. And just remember, you know, you can't really throw this you don't need to throw this really, really thin. Just a nice even wall section. Because if this is really thin, then when you go to push this in, it's just going to be a mess. And you're not going to have enough clay here to have a flange later. So nice even wall sections. And have fun.